I want to ask you a quick question before we get started today. What is one thing about this podcast that's been missing? Think hard for a second. If you're a longtime listener, something might come to your head or maybe not. But there's one big piece about this podcast that's been missing and is going to take the experience to the next level. A way to experience and connect with more like-minded anglers. And the answer is a strong community. And that all changes today, as in this episode, we share with you the next steps with Wet Fly Swing Pro, our community we call the shop, in a way that we're going to be elevating this to the next level. And we're going to dig into it today. This is the Wet Fly Swing podcast, where I show you the best places to travel to for fly fishing, how to find the best resources and tools to prepare for that big trip, and what you can do to give back to the fish species we all love. Today, I'm going to talk about one of those resources as we go into deep on a little quick episode with the Wet Fly Swing community. We're going to find out why this community that we built is different from a Facebook group, how it's different from forums, and how you're going to get some high-level deliverable items through the membership group that we're building. But before we get into it all, I want to share a little story that paints the picture of what Wet Fly Swing Pro is all about. And the cool thing is that we launched this last year, and it's kind of been a slow rollout. We really haven't had the right platform, but the cool thing is we brought together a small group of community members that paid to join this group, and those people have been in there experiencing the connections and what Wet Fly Swing Pro is all about, and kind of what inspired me to do it. And one example I want to share here is Ray, who had this story. He joined the group, was one of our first members, and he told a story about connecting with another member who he didn't know at all. And through the group, they connected basically, through DMing, all that, and they ended up planning a trip together, splitting the guide costs and getting on the river. And I believe I might be wrong in this, but I believe it was Raphael was the one who caught a steelhead on the trip, and it was just this amazing story to come back. And so that's just one small little story about the group. And I think it's as you get in here, this is a big part that we're going to be looking at. The community focus is going to be a really big part of this. We're also going to have more experts. We're going to take content a deeper dive on this. So we're going to have some challenges and things that we're going to do in the group that are going to elevate your fly fishing to the next level. And we're going to have a lot more of these stories. So I just want to share that quick win and that story so you get a feel for what we're looking at doing here and what Wet Fly Swing Pro is all about. You can go right now to wetflyswing.com/pro, and if you sign up there, I'll follow up with you with some details, and you can get details on exactly what it looks like, and we'll fill you in and let you know how you can get started if you're interested. But before we get down deeper, I just want to share the origin story of this and how we got to where we are today. So I've been thinking about this community for quite some time. It's been really important for me, and I haven't had the capacity to do until now, and the right resources. And we are just getting ready to launch a new platform for the community. And this thing is going to really take it off the charts as far as the tools and resources you're going to get. And so the other cool thing about this group is that, there's Facebook groups, and some of those places are great out there. But the problem is, and even some of the private ones, that you get people in there that it's not really a safe place. Not as safe as you'd want. Maybe you don't want to ask questions. Maybe you don't want to share a spot. But the cool thing about what we have, we call it the shop, Wet Fly Swing Pro, is that, because it is a paid small fee, but it is paid, that it creates basically a barrier, and everybody in there is part of the community. They're supporting the podcast, they're supporting each other, and they're free to ask questions, to share things, and it's not something that you get in your typical other groups out there. So that's a big part of it. The content also is going to be a big part of it, doing some of the expert-led resources and some of the tools we're going to have in there. There's going to be a number of different things, but the cool thing is we're going to build this around people that are in the group. So whoever is in the group, we're going to start off with content, and we're going to, evolve everything around that. So if you join today, I'm going to be doing a call with you, and we're going to find out what exactly you want to take further, right? So if you're into Euro nymphing, we're going to do some, expert, series on that. We're also going to be doing some Q&As. So each month, without getting people overwhelmed. And again, the podcast will continue going, but in the group, we're going to have Q&A sessions where I will be in there We will be preparing for new events, and when trips come up, you will get first access to those. We're going to be talking about trips, but that's a big part. So we'll have Q&As. I will be leading those. We will have still webinars and clinics inside there for people to get access to. We'll have the one-on-one when you need it for support. We'll have some other tutorials and PDFs that you can only get in the group. And all of this will come together to help your goal. And we're calling these our wet fly swing tribes. So depending on what you're into, if you're into spay, like Ray is, spay is his thing, he's in the spay tribe. And you can be in as many tribes as you want, but that's one thing we're going to get into is that you can connect with those tribes. We're going to have some challenges. We're going to have some coaching opportunities. We're going to have trip planning tools. You're going to be in there with like-minded people learning through workshops and other founding member perks. But one of the biggest ones I said is that if you get in now at the insider founder price, this will be locked in for life. As we increase the price in the future, you will be locked in as long as you stay an active member of the group at that founding member price. And so you get the tools, the people, the motivation, everything you need to kind of elevate your game this year. So why now? Why is now the time to get into this? We're calling this founding members. This is kind of founding members round 2, but this is the chance to lock in that price. Like I said, we're going to be doing a new platform we're launching soon, which is going to be off the charts. This is going to be you coming in there and learning from some of the best out there. So we're kind of doing a shout out. This is going to be open until July 1st. And then we're going to be closing the doors on this as we get ready to do a larger non-founding member launch later in the year. And so we're going to be building that with people in the group who are in there. So right now, if you want, go to wetflyswing.com/pro right now, and you can grab everything we have laid out there, get the details, and I'll follow up with you on next steps. And just want to have a couple of FAQs that might come up you might be thinking about here. And so one question might be, do I have to be an expert? We call it Wet Fly Swing Pro. And the answer is no, of course not. This is Wet Fly Swing Pro, but it's actually called The Shop. And the reason we came up with the name The Shop is that it's that place that I remember as a kid growing up in the fly shop where you could go and you can hang out and chat and tie flies and talk about where you're going fishing. Sometimes stay up late in the night tying flies, getting ready for that next trip the next morning, and then going out and, experiencing that trip. And the shop was always the place that I remember as a younger person going in and hanging out. So I want that to be the same experience here, where you can go in there, you could share, ask questions, maybe, find out, maybe you're in Alberta and you're thinking, man, I really want to go down and fish Wyoming, but I don't know anybody there. You can go into our Wyoming tribe and you can find some people that are in there that are helping, deliver on some of that. If you're in Ontario and you're thinking, man, I would love to fish, some places down in Florida, you can go into the Florida tribe or go into the saltwater tribe. All these things are going to be in there, and there'll be basically a group discussion centered around each of these. And if, like I said, you can connect with any of these different things, but there'll be group discussions. Then there will be a platform for just educational, videos, podcasts. Everything will be organized, and we will have the podcast in there. So we have over 800 podcast episodes that are live right now, and you can search right now on the Wet Fly Swing blog. That's probably the best way to do it. Search for a topic, but within this group, within these tribes, we're going to have these podcast episodes in here. So if you go into, like we said, the spay tribe section, within the spay tribe, you will have not only the bonus webinars and stuff, but you'll have the podcast in there by spay, in that focused. So that's a big one. Another question we have there for frequently asked questions: I don't fish that often. Is it worth it? And so the answer, of course, is yes, it is worth it. Even if you're not a huge angler, even if you're brand new, or if you've been doing it a while and you don't fish that much, the cool thing is that the price is right here. So it's not going to require you to feel like, you've got to be in here all the time. This is a place where we would love you to be in there all the time. But even if you just attend one live session, maybe a Q&A, or you connect with a trip or a guide or somebody in there that takes you out and shows you the DIY, it's worth it, because, one trip could make or break your year potentially. Another frequently asked question is, can I cancel? And so, yes, you can cancel. We have a policy. We want you to be feeling like this is amazing and you want to stick around. So if it's not something you're interested in, of course, you can reach out to me and we can give you a refund. We feel like that this thing is something that the price is right, and the experience is right and the content is right and everything, bring it together, I don't think you will want to cancel. But we do want to leave that option because, of course, we don't want anybody in there that's not satisfied. And so far, like I said from the start of the story at the start, I think even though I haven't put enough effort as we needed to this point to really, bring this up to the next level, even at the lower scale effort, it's been really successful. And I want to let you know that we're going to be taking this. I'm putting a lot of investing in myself. I think that's something I think about a lot. Quote, I think a lot of people I love is that, invest in yourself. So I'm investing, I'm spending money to make sure this group, this membership community is the best it can be. And so right now in the next year, this thing is going to be, I believe, skyrocketing to something that you'll want to be involved with. So if you get in now, it locks you in. It's going to lock you in for a substantial amount of time, and it's going to be easy to get what you need to get going. So I just want to give you a personal invite, and just like I said, let you know this is something I've been thinking about for a long, long time now, and I am so happy that we're finally here. I feel like there's these game-changing moments. The podcasts, we've been doing now for basically 10 years, almost 10 years now, which is really amazing, right? I can't believe we could say 10 years for the podcast, but I think it's time. The 10-year mark is where we launch off the next big thing, and we might have this group for 10 years now where we can build this thing into the future along with you and just, share the passion and the love of fly fishing, right? There's nothing better than being in a community of like-minded people, doing what we love, sharing stories, learning, and all of that. And so with this day and age, with so many resources out there, you can go to this podcast, to our podcast, listen to all the episodes, which I hope you do. I hope you have. You can go find YouTube channels. You can go find lots of people out there. But this is the place where if you really want to take the deep dive and take it further, there's no question my success has been built around communities, being part of them. And that's why I think I'm so hot on this one right now. All right, so your final call to action before we get out of here, head over to wetflyswing.com/pro and lock in your spot right now. All you have to do is enter your email and your name, and I'll follow up with you on details. And like I said, July 1st, we're going to be locking the doors on this last round of founding members. So we don't have much time. Today, as we speak, is June 9th. So we're less than a month away. So if you want to get in, the time is now. And don't wait. Don't hesitate. And let's get it rolling. Thanks again. I appreciate you for supporting. And if you don't get a chance to go over there, I still definitely appreciate you for listening into this podcast. Today, we have this episode. It's kind of crazy because we had, and this just shows you things change. We had an episode that was set to go live today, and things changed. We had a couple of big changes, so I had to break and actually come up with a topic for today. And of course, since I've been so much inside the membership and building this, I mean, literally right now, I'm opening this thing up. I'm looking at the platform that we're going to be launching here very soon, and I'm really excited to share with you. So appreciate you for sticking along today. I appreciate you for being here, a listener, and I want to let you know, as always, I hope you have a great afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if it's morning, if you're having maybe a piece of toast and some jelly on there, maybe some peanut butter, try that. Peanut butter and jelly on toast. That's pretty epic. And maybe a cup of coffee or some orange juice. I hope you're enjoying it. And I would love to see you inside Wet Fly Swing Pro. If you've thought about it, now is the time. Definitely, we've got this great offer going on. So thanks again, and we will talk to you very soon.